chance to be here with you today and hopefully tell you just a little bit about myself. Before we get started, we'll say hi to my favorite Democrat tracker who loves to video me. He's been following me around for a couple of months now. We have a good time joking around. But my name is Mike Wilson. I am the Republican candidate for House District 28. And like Representative Pillar said, that represents a good chunk of the suburbs of northern and northeast Hamilton County. I want to highlight something that Max said because I thought it was really important, and it talks a lot about what I want to do and what I want to accomplish here in Ohio. Max talked about some of the problems that they're facing in California and how their economy is in shambles, and you're seeing businesses leaving, you're seeing the population flee California. Well, why is that happening? California has tremendous advantages as a state. They have one of the best climates in the country, they have a well-educated workforce, and yet businesses are fleeing. What you're seeing there is the results of a government that has grown out of control, and is essentially sucking the lifeblood out of the economy. You're seeing a state government that has grown by leaps and bounds over the last 10 to 15 years, and as a result, California is now one of the worst environments to run business in the entire United States. Unfortunately, Ohio is closer to that end of the spectrum than to the other end. Where California ranks amongst the bottom 3 in business tax climate according to the Tax Foundation, Ohio ranks 4th worst. Which means that when it comes to trying to capture some of those jobs that are going to be leaving California as companies start to move, unfortunately, Ohio probably isn't going to be in the top of the list. And we've seen this show up in the evidence. We've seen it in the 400,000 lost jobs since 2006. This recession has hit Ohio worse than it has other states. And that's unfortunate because I think we can do better here. We have a lot of those same advantages that California has. We have an ideal location at the crossroads of America. We have wonderful transportation networks. We have a well-educated workforce and a legacy of entrepreneurship and innovation here in our state. And unfortunately, over the last 20 to 30 years, we have progressively squandered that opportunity, and we've seen ourselves get worse in any form of national ranking when we look at the economy. So right now, we stand above average in unemployment. We stand below average in GDP per capita, but the good news is this is something we can fix. So for me, what this means is that when we address this budget issue this year, we have to look for ways to make state government more efficient and do more with less. Unfortunately, we as taxpayers have been affected here in the last few years out in the private sector. We've got to make sure that government is right-sized for what it is we want to do. So the things that we need to prioritize are making sure that we have a strong environment so businesses and jobs can be created here in our state, because doing everything that we want to do, from educating our public to taking care of our seniors to taking care of our veterans, is dependent on having a strong economy here in our state. So for me, that absolutely has to be job one as I go to the legislature next year. Beyond that, when it comes to education, I think this is critically important because there's a moral aspect of this. Education is the opportunity and the key, to take people and give them a chance to be successful in our society. Unfortunately, what we've seen here is that we've made some progress over the last 10 years as we continue to increase education funding, but unfortunately, we haven't seen commensurate increases in results all the time. And I think a lot of that has to do is because we tie the hands of local school districts by many, many requirements and unfunded mandates that come down from Columbus. So as I'm talking to some of the school administrators and teachers in my district, what they're telling me is that you have examples of this, like what happened in House Bill 1 last year, mandatory all-day kindergarten. Well, that sounds like a wonderful idea, I think it is, but the challenge is that that came with no additional funding from the state in order to make it happen. So again, I think we need to let the local school boards do what they were elected to do, which is make the decisions for their district, instead of having so much of this run from Columbus. So my goal here, as we move forward, is to try to make government more efficient, focus it on the things it should be doing, and honestly, we need to look at the budget from top to bottom and say, is this something government should be doing? If so, can we do it better? Can we do it faster, cheaper, more efficiently? And if not, well then let's stop doing it. We can't have when economic growth starts to go down, and again, we've been hit worse in this recession, we can't continue to grow government in spite of that. So the goal for me is next year, we're going to work on trying to create a productive environment here in our state. We're going to continue to improve and grow our education system, and we're going to get Ohio back on the right track. So appreciate the chance to speak to you today. If you guys live in northern Hamilton County, we very much appreciate your vote. Thanks.